Jed and Katey Duggar reveal they set family record with number of kids they have. Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I am Elena, and I hope you are well. If you like the video, please subscribe the channel USA Dramatic Show and press the bell icon. The Duggar family seems to always keep growing. The famous family is known for being large in numbers, and the siblings are keeping the tradition of big families going. Recently, Jed and Katey Duggar got candid about having more children in a podcast episode of the Jinger Jeremy podcast. They currently have 4 children, newborn twin girls, Elsie and Emma, and daughter, Nora, 2, and a son, Truett, 3. We've known each other 5 years, Katey shared. So when we look at it like that, we're like, wow, this has been crazy, she said, noting they had 2 children under 2. That's insane, Jinger agreed. Jeremy asked, so you guys are 4 in 4 years, are you going to keep going? Jed responded, we're just praying about that, with Katey noting they were taking a sabbatical from growing their family for the time being. We would love to just enjoy the kids we have right now for a good minute, she explained. It's an insanely busy season, the little years, especially because we have 2 infants right now. It's just all hands on deck at all times 24/7. The couple admitted they both have a number in mind, revealing, we'd love to have 5 or 6 kids. Per TV Insider, having 4 kids ages 2 and under puts the couple ahead of the pace of his parents, Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar. Their eldest son, Josh Duggar, was 3 by the time their 4th child, Jill Duggar, was born in May 1991. Josh is currently in jail over child porn charges. Jed and Katey wed in 2021 after dating quietly for a year. People reported on the news at the time. The couple was married in a private ceremony Saturday, with family and close friends in attendance, a rep said at the time. It was a beautiful ceremony, and the entire family is so happy for them. Jed posted a loving tribute to his new bride at the time on social media. Jed announced the news on Instagram Sunday. For a long time, I have prayed for my future spouse, not knowing who that person would be. God answered my prayers far beyond what I could have ever imagined in Katey. He captioned a photo of the couple on their wedding day. We have enjoyed quietly developing our relationship over the past year, and every moment together has been amazing. I'm so grateful God brought Katey into my life and excited to share with you all that. Today, she became my wife. He continued, Katey, the thought of sharing the rest of my life with you makes me the happiest man in the world. I love you so much. Jed Katey Duggar shockingly reveal if they want more kids, or if they're taking a sabbatical. Counting on Star, Jed Duggar and his wife, Katey Duggar, recently appeared as guests on Jed's sister Jinger Duggar's podcast, and when asked whether Jed and Katey were planning to expand their family anytime soon, they revealed where they stand on welcoming more children. Jed and his wife Katey are already parents to son Truett, 3, daughter Nora, 2, and their newborn twins, Elsie and Emma, who were born in January. For a brief time, Jed and Katey had 4 little ones under the age of 2 in their family, a record in the Duggar family. Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I am Elena, and I hope you are well. If you like the video, please subscribe the channel USA Dramatic Show and press the bell icon. Jed and Katey admitted that the speed with which their family has grown has been shocking. As reported by TV Insider, Jed and Katey told Jinger and her husband, Jeremy Volo, that the speed with which their family has grown has been shocking. We've known each other 5 years, so when we look at it like that, we're like, wow, this has been crazy, said Katey. When asked whether they'd welcome more children, Jed said it was something he and Katey were praying about, while Katey said that they would love to just enjoy the kids they have right now for a good minute. For now, they consider themselves on sabbatical from having children. The Duggar family became famous due to their extra-large brood, and the family has been through its fair share of trials and tribulations since their original reality show, 19 Kids and Counting, went off the air in 2015 after son Josh Duggar was exposed for molesting several of his sisters during childhood. The family has failed to regain their fame and popularity in the years since the scandal. Their appeal was always rooted in family values, which is why they had so many kids to begin with. By stating that they're on a sabbatical from expanding their family, Jed and Katey are drawing a distinction between their family and the Duggar family. The Duggars claimed that more children were gifts from God, so the more they had, the more blessed they were. Jed and Katey clearly reflect their family and the values they were raised with, but they're not in a rush to have more children. They said they are praying on it, but won't be moving too quickly. One of the many criticisms of families like the Duggars is that the parents are stretched too thin between trying to care for all of their children's emotional and physical needs. For Jed and Katey to say they want to relish the time they have with their children while they're young means that they probably have learned from their past and want to do what's best for their family as it is currently. This is a major distinction between the way Jed and Katey are raising their family and the way Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, Jed's parents, raised theirs. By spacing out their children, Jed and Katey are trying their best to be available and present as parents to their 4 young children without adding any more to the mix just yet. The Counting On stars are not abandoning the values they were raised with, but they are making sure that it will work for their family, and they're doing it on their own time. That's progress from the early days of the family, and it's a sign that the Duggars aren't immune from changing with the times.
Lauren Duggar finally back after over a year of social media silence? As we've reported, fans haven't heard from Josiah and Lauren in months. This has caused fans to worry about the couple and their 2-year-old daughter, Bella. Fans have been searching for an update but haven't heard much yet. Plus, with Counting On being cancelled, there's no way for fans to see Josiah and Lauren on TV either. They last posted on Instagram in November 2020 and have deleted many of their posts. Some fans thought they might be scrubbing their Instagram page ahead of Josh Duggar's child porn trial. Maybe they didn't want their pictures circulating online and didn't want negative attention. Or maybe Josh's crimes opened their eyes to what really happens online. While staying silent on their own Instagram account, the couple did make an appearance on the Duggar family's Instagram page in the summer. Then, Josiah was spotted at the family's Christmas gathering, but Lauren and Bella were not. Now fans have finally seen Lauren once again. So what's going on? In a YouTube video posted on Friday, Jedediah and Katey announced the gender of their first baby. After blue smoke filled the air, Lauren ran over to give Katey a hug. You can see Lauren in the video for a few seconds. She seems very happy and comfortable at the family event. Her appearance in the video also sparked pregnancy speculation. Some fans and critics think Lauren could be pregnant with her second baby based on her clothing and the way her body looks. Of course, this isn't confirmed by the family yet. Not only was Lauren spotted at the family gathering, but her husband Josiah and daughter Bella can be seen there too. Unfortunately, this doesn't explain why Josiah and Lauren have disappeared from their own Instagram page. Fans are still wondering if they will ever return to social media. It's unclear what's going on behind the scenes, but it seems like Josiah and Lauren might be attempting to lay low. This could be due to Josh's trial or something else. For months, the name Lauren Duggar had all but disappeared from the headlines. Once a regular presence on Counting On and a quietly loved part of the expansive Duggar family, Lauren had retreated into silence, no Instagram updates, no sightings at Duggar family events, and not a single interview or public post since late last year. Whispers had circulated among fans. Where is Lauren? Is she okay? Has something happened between her and Josiah? Even the most loyal followers admitted they were worried. But this week, the silence was finally broken. In a quiet, emotionally raw, and deeply personal way, Lauren Duggar finally resurfaced. And what she had to share revealed more than anyone could have imagined. It wasn't a dramatic return. There was no magazine cover, no viral TikTok, no podcast tell-all. Instead, it came in the form of a simple blog post published on a joint website Lauren had quietly built with Josiah over the past few months, Rooted Grace, a site dedicated to faith, family, and healing. The post was titled, "Where I've Been, a Letter from the Quiet," and it began like this. Sometimes, God calls us to be still, to disappear, to listen. For me, the last year has been just that, a journey through silence, grief, healing, and rediscovery. In over 2,000 heartfelt words, Lauren poured out her story, where she'd been, why she stepped away, and what the road back has looked like. Much of Lauren's letter centered on grief, and for longtime fans, it was an emotional return to a part of her journey they'd never fully understood. After Lauren and Josiah tragically lost their first pregnancy in 2018, the couple welcomed their rainbow baby, Bella, in 2019. But what the public didn't see was how deeply that first loss continued to affect Lauren. "I never fully dealt with the pain," she wrote. "I threw myself into smiling for the cameras, into routines and schedules and Bible studies, thinking I could organize my way out of grief. But it lingered in my body, in my heart, in my dreams." Lauren shared that in late 2023, she began experiencing debilitating panic attacks, nightmares, and what she now knows was complicated grief mixed with postnatal anxiety. "I felt like I couldn't breathe in rooms full of people. I stopped going to church for a while. Even Josiah didn't know how to reach me." The silence, then, wasn't just about privacy. It was survival. In the post, Lauren credits Josiah Duggar, her usually reserved and fiercely loyal husband, as the anchor that helped her through her darkest season. "He never left. Not when I sobbed through Bella's nap times. Not when I deleted all my social apps. Not when I said, I don't think I can go to another family dinner." Lauren recalled one specific night where she woke up crying from a dream about their lost baby. "He just held me and whispered, 'God sees you, Lauren.'" Even in the silence. Their marriage, once assumed by outsiders to be on rocky ground, had instead been forged stronger through this quiet wilderness. "We didn't fall apart. We fell deeper into each other and into grace." The post also gave fans a sweet update on Bella, the daughter many hadn't seen or heard about in over a year. Bella is 4 now, and she's full of opinions and song lyrics. "She dances everywhere she goes. She's the reason I get up in the morning. She's also the reason I started planting flowers again." Lauren shared photos on the blog, modest, unfiltered shots of Bella picking wildflowers, painting at a kitchen table, cuddled next to Lauren with a stack of books. One image of Bella kissing a butterfly on her finger simply read, "Hope returns." Fans couldn't get enough. The comments poured in. "I've missed Lauren's voice so much. She looks at peace. You can feel it in the words. So glad to see she's okay." "I cried reading this." While Lauren had stepped back from public life, it turns out she never truly disconnected from those closest to her. Jana Duggar, who has always been like an older sister to her, came over weekly to help with Bella and cook dinners when Lauren didn't have the energy. "Jana was my constant. She didn't ask me to explain. She just showed up." Lauren also mentioned growing closer to Jill Dillard, who has long been candid about her own journey of therapy and spiritual deconstruction. Jill reached out one day with a text that said, "It's okay to need help. I'm here when you're ready to talk." That was the beginning of me saying yes to counseling. Even Michelle Duggar, who is often viewed as emotionally reserved, wrote Lauren handwritten letters every month during her silence. Her letters reminded me I was still loved, even when I wasn't at the family table. Now that she's back, what does life look like for Lauren Duggar? According to her, it's less about rejoining public life and more about living intentionally. She and Josiah are still keeping Bella's life largely private, no plans for reality shows or YouTube channels, but they are open to sharing glimpses through their blog, Rooted Grace, and encouraging other women walking through grief, motherhood, and faith transitions. "I want other young moms to know, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to unplug. and when the time is right, it's okay to return. There was a patriarch who pretended to speak for God and lived in a home with his children before the fall. Restrictions in a sprawling home in the heart of Arkansas, time stood still as if frozen in time itself. Every moment, down to the smallest detail, was meticulously orchestrated. In the eyes of her husband, her church, and the lusty pages of the IBLP manuals, Michelle Duggar was a model of submissive obedience. Her only goal in life was to follow and support Jim, the empire's founder. Bob Duggar radiated the righteousness of a spiritual patriarch. He wore his grin like armor and sang scripture like a battle drum, as if he were a general's heir to holiness. Every seemingly harmless episode of 19 Kids and Counting hid a truth that no one dared to speak out. There was no family here. Reality TV did more than just find them, it magnified them. Theology was more than just a title, it was a warning. After 2 autumn years without cameras, the world had grown scandalous and disillusioned, but in the Duggar home there was more quiet than before as they stared at the family portrait that had hung in their living room. They were all smiling and dressed in muted earth tones as Michelle stood in the corridor. The memory of that day was vivid, and she remembered how. The story of how Jinger had wept in the lavatory and returned with her makeup is what Jim Bob wanted everyone to smile about, along with the fact that she had to hold Jose's hand steady so she wouldn't wriggle. Hidden away in a closet with dozens of other priceless artifacts, including hand-sewn clothing that no one could ever wear, conference credentials, pictures of church leaders, and sermon binders, as if someone had become so engrossed in a dream that she no longer believed in. The smiles that never made it into their eyes had also been removed. In the midst of her Bible study, Michelle aimlessly roamed the house. The program still included task rotations and morning prayers, but now they were more of a ritual than a belief system, and her religion had become a shaming repetition of tired cliches. Jim has. He spent hours in his office once based on television royalties, book sales, real estate transactions, and political connections. Now his empire is in ruins due to lawsuits, audits, a declining number of donors, rumors of deceit, and the devil is to blame. One night, as he thumbed through Deuteronomy, he mumbled, "He's after our family. He is turning our kids against us." Bob hardly paid attention or pretended that nothing was wrong. Michelle wanted to shriek, but she restrained herself since it had been decades since she'd screamed, and the children had scattered like seeds in a strong wind far from the Duggar complex. Others relocated to cities, others married into another faiths, and still some became extinct entirely. As far as anyone's thoughts being public, Jill was the pioneer. During her interviews and court filings, her voice became steadier as she spoke of financial deception, performing for cameras while her elder brother got away with his crimes. In her book, The Night Terrors, Jinger tore apart the IBLP worldview, discussing topics such as anxiety, shame cycles, and concern. Jana, the eldest daughter, was the last to leave, still single, still obeying, still at home. Something inside her ached every time Michelle walked by in the corridor. Jana wore a tired smile, avoided mirrors, and shifted as if she were waiting for permission to breathe. Joanna rarely spoke, but her silence was powerful. She stopped going on family vacations, stopped wearing modest clothing, and enrolled her children in public school. "It's not a call for prayer, not a list of thanks, just the facts," Michelle wrote in her diary that evening as she sat on the side of her bed with an unread leather-bound Bible next to her. For the first time in her life, she didn't pray before bed. Nebraska relies more on its alumni than any other state. The Duggar family has long been considered a symbol of unity, tradition, and unwavering faith, but a quiet storm has been building behind the scenes. After years of raising 19 children in the public eye, enduring controversy, and presenting a united front, rumors have begun swirling around the seemingly unshakable couple at the center of it all, Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar. And now, in a shocking twist that has stunned fans around the world, the whispers have turned into something much louder. Multiple sources close to the family are confirming what no one thought possible. Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar are facing serious marital struggles and even discussing a potential separation. Could this be the moment that marks the end of the Duggar dynasty as we know it? The breaking point no one saw coming. The Duggar home in Taneytown, Arkansas has always been full of life, laughter, and chaos. But over the past year, those closest to the family have noticed a shift, especially between Jim Bob and Michelle. They barely look at each other during family gatherings anymore, one anonymous family friend shared. It's not like them. Michelle always used to be right by his side. Even during recent family updates posted on social media, fans noted that Michelle often seemed distant, sometimes even absent, while Jim Bob continued making solo appearances at local church events and speaking engagements. But what triggered this rift? Sources suggest it wasn't one big event, but a culmination of years of tension, emotional strain, and changing family dynamics that finally brought things to a head. Cracks in the Duggar foundation. For decades, Jim Bob and Michelle maintained a very specific family structure rooted in ultra-conservative values, a strict hierarchy, and a lifestyle that centered around full submission to faith and family. But as their children have grown up, many have chosen their own paths. Some have even distanced themselves from the Duggar brand entirely. Jill Duggar Dillard was the first to publicly step away, followed by Jinger, who famously said she had to deconstruct her childhood beliefs. Joy, Anna, Jason, and Jedediah have all shown signs of modernizing their lifestyles. And Michelle? She started asking questions, a source close to the family revealed. She began reading books, listening to podcasts, stuff that challenged what they were always told. This didn't sit well with Jim Bob, who, by many accounts, remained firmly committed to the original Duggar doctrine, even as his children evolved. A private fight goes public. The real turning point came, reportedly, during the most recent holiday season. For the first time in Duggar history, Thanksgiving was split. Instead of one big celebration, multiple Duggar siblings hosted their own gatherings. Jill and Derek had a separate dinner. Jinger didn't fly in from California. Even Joy and Austin spent the day with Austin's side of the family. Michelle, according to a source, was devastated. She told a friend, "It's like the family I built doesn't exist anymore." Jim Bob, on the other hand, was more stoic. "They've made their choices," he allegedly said. "We can't force them to live by our values." That emotional disconnect only deepened the divide between them. The whispered word, divorce. Despite their decades-long marriage, insiders say the word divorce has now been spoken more than once. Michelle, in particular, has reportedly sought out counseling privately and without Jim Bob's involvement. "She's trying to find her own voice," said a longtime family friend. "And it's terrifying for her, but also kind of liberating." Jim Bob, for his part, has been trying to reclaim order within the family, but insiders say his approach is pushing people further away, including his own wife. He expected her to keep holding the family together, but she's tired. Tired of pretending everything's perfect.